Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my new video. My name is LoFit. I do educational content like guide videos, like tip videos, like opposition videos on how to beat particular champions. And I am a bit of a League of Legends nerd, particularly when it comes to the pro games. I will actually watch NALCS, EULCS, I watch the Korean scene, I watch the Chinese scene, so it's kind of, I'm all over the place. I watch a shitload of pro games, and I just get so pumped when I get to see all of them just kind of try out their different metas, their different play styles, and see which one is the best. I love seeing the sword versus the shield. I love seeing the sword versus the sword, the shield versus the shield. And this year's World, I think, is going to be amazing. A bunch of really exciting teams coming out. Personally, my favorite team is actually KT. And I am used to being a little disappointed with the team. I'm used to sometimes not even getting to Worlds and getting upset in the gauntlet or something, but this year, I know it's bad, we'll cover it later, but I know it's bad to get excited about KT, but I think they actually have a really good chance, so we will see how it goes, how the players perform. I'd love to hear what your guys' favorite team was. Let me know down below what your favorite team is, or who you think's gonna win, or if there's gonna be a huge upset. Is it one team you think is it gonna be like the Flash Wolves come out of nowhere and take some games off some Korean teams? Or are we gonna see Gambit, a rise of Gambit, maybe get it out of maybe make it a quarterfinals, something like Alice Knox did, or maybe Vitality comes out of nowhere and does something. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I am gonna go over some do's and don'ts of what you should do when you are watching. I think that as players of League of Legends, it's sometimes can be a little bit not the best idea to just watch a pro, see exactly what they're doing, and try and copy that and mirror that in your solo queue, down to the champion, down to the build, down to everything, and try and emulate your favorite player. I think we're going to go over all of the things that I think that you should try to apply. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you have any feedback or critique for me, I'm always open for that. And as well as if you guys want an LPGG review, I'm always open to help you guys climb a little bit. But a bit about myself, personal experience, I'm just a low diamond shedder. I've made it to Diamond 3 promos. That's the highest I've made. If you want a little bit of background on myself, I play mid, top, and support. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, let's jump right into some of the do's with watching pro League of Legends. I'm so pumped for this world. So ward placement is really big. Look where the wards are where they're placing, and try and distinguish, hey, are they behind in this game state? Are they ahead? Or are they in an even game state? And at what time are they placing wards in the specific spots? Obviously, ward placements are going to vary on those variables. So generally, you'll see a lot of forward wards from teams that are ahead and looking to press their lead, and a little bit more defensive wards for teams that are looking to just kind of grind it out, try and CS and play for the late game. Next up, runes and items. I think this can be kind of a bit of a thought exercise that I think they can help you a bit with your critical thinking with League of Legends. Be like, hey, why did this guy take this rune set into this particular matchup? A good example I like to make of this is, hey, this Gangplank, is he going to be taking Grasp or Kleptomancy into this matchup, and why is that? And then obviously, why is this guy building this item? And maybe it's a little bit off, maybe it's an ADC building Maw just because they have a lot of AP burst. So try and run those things through your head, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. Next up, laning phase is really fun. You should watch when they are trading. Is the enemy, did the enemy just use a cooldown to push the wave? Is the enemy looking, are they locking in an auto attack animation on a CS? Is the enemy taking advantage of that and taking a trade when they are in those vulnerable positions? That is a really important thing to watch out for. Next up is back timings. Look to see when they're looking to back. Are they trying to push the wave under tower all the way? Or are they looking to set up a freeze and come back to the lane? Pay attention to when they are backing, because this is a really important part of the game that a lot of low elo players have very, very poor wave management. So try and keep this in mind when you are watching. Next up is positioning. Oh lord. Another big thing that a lot of people struggle with, and myself included for sure. Look where the the ADCs are being put, where the squishy players are positioning, and where the tanks are positioning in regards to separating the carries from the divers, and how they're positioning themselves to peel the divers for their carries. Look at your specific role and how they are playing the game out as much as possible, as you'll get the most information out of watching that particular person. Next up, we have watch the play-ins. This is definitely a great do. Last year's Worlds with, I think it was last year's Worlds. God, time kind of flies. But Albus Nox was just a crazy team that came out of nowhere and really upset a lot of people. And it was really cool to follow them all the way from play-ins and their crazy brand picks, and Lacrit just popping off on his support pick. That it just brought so much. It was such a great viewing experience, because I watched them being like, are these guys even going to get into the main group stage, into holy shit, are these guys for real? Like, are they going to make it into semis and stuff? It was crazy. So watch the play-ins. I think they have great games. They're a lot of fun, and actually a lot of really off-meta stuff comes out, and a lot of different unique play styles come out of the different regions. So really make sure to check that out. And last up, we have try as a thought experiment to figure out why they are moving in particular ways. Is the bot lane rotating because they have a poor matchup? Is there a bruiser in the top lane that has an amazing matchup into the tank, and they just try to get that tank out of the matchup as soon as possible? When are they lane swapping? Are the they just gank top? Maybe are they going to go take the bot side objectives when they're getting ganked top, or are they getting 4-man dove in the bot lane? Are they looking to take Rift Herald? Try and run these things through your mind and see what, like, hey, what would I do? And then try and see what the pros are doing, and see maybe that's a good idea. Or maybe try out something that you see that's going on with the map movement. This isn't always going to be the best way to do it, but I think it's a great thing for you guys to do when you're watching your game. Next up, the don'ts. I think these are a little bit more important than the do's. Champion picks. Oh my god. It wasn't last year's Worlds, but the Worlds before. There was a support misfortune pick. I know I have a guide on misfortune support, but regardless of that, do not pick champion picks that you see in the World Championships, because the meta is completely different than what your solo queue is. It's completely different play style and play level, if I want to put it that way. If you see like your favorite player playing something like Azir and you're in silver with the 500 games played with 50% on all your champions, Azir is not going to be the pick for you. If you see something really cool and off meta and kooky like that misfortune support that was pulled out, just bring a little bit of temperance. Don't play that in your first ranked solo queue right after you see that this is going to draw a lot of ire from your teammates, and you are most likely going to drop a lot of elo when you see stuff like this. Next up is the meta. I know we covered this a little bit before, but just because you see a Talia jungle does really well and carries their team does not mean that you can't carry your low elo solo queue games with Warwick. In fact, Warwick's going to be a better pick for you most of the time, just because it's a lot easier to execute. Do not apply the championship and highest level of plays meta to your solo queue games in low elo. Alright, another don't only watch the big name teams. Don't only watch like Genji and Afrikas and KT Worldstar, RNG, IG, Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, Cloud9. I'm going through the symbols there, sticking me a little bit. Fnatic, Vitality, G2, Flash Wolves. Don't only watch the big names. I think a lot of fun games are usually with some of the smaller names, because they just kind of go balls out, and really look to take advantage of those. Don't get too excited about KT, because when you get too excited about KT, they don't do well, and I want to see some KT victories. They're an extremely interesting team to watch, because they have so much talent. Okay, we're not going to cover that anymore. Another one. Don't count out the smaller regions. They're slowly getting higher and higher in their ability, and as the game progresses, a lot of just the base play rate of professional play, with players moving around and going to different scenes. I think the overall play rate of the other smaller countries are really coming up and starting to meet the level of some of the bigger regions. The biggest thing that I really need to cover with don'ts is, don't see a ADC or a mid laner. He builds Rylai's first, and then Leandry's, and then whatever. Do not copy this every single one of your games in solo queue. and expect to climb. I covered this a little bit in the deuce, but just do not be like, hey, Smed ran this, someday ran this. I'm just going to build this in every single one of my solo queue games and hope for victory. This is a really big cardinal sin. You want to apply your builds towards the game state. Do not see build in your game over and over again. That wraps up my little list. I really appreciate you guys coming out to my videos. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm super interactive. Make sure to join the Discord if you want to have kind of a live chat with me. I'm always down for that kind of stuff, as well as I stream every night at 6:30 PST if you want to come and check it out. I usually play a few ranked games, then I might do a little bit of league sketch, and then we usually do some customs, or I play ranked flex with viewers, and it's a good old fun time. And that'll do it. If you enjoyed the content, please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, guys, take it easy.